through all of this. You told me that you loved me so much, but now we're here, and I can barely breathe. Inside my head, I pulled apart all the pieces to only see I've always wanted you. So let's take this time to feel it all, no lies. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the life. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away. Can't make me give it away. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love Don't eat the love. I know we're scared, and every day feels like a bad day. My biggest fear is you will walk away. The battle's here, and I'm standing in the fire. So take my hand, and we will stay alive. So let's take this time to feel it all, no lies. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the love alive. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away. Can't make me give it away. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the Don't eat the love.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. How we doing? It is Wednesday, the 10th of January, 2024. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Myles Dyer, and welcome to Myles Dyer Live every week, where we hang out and just chill. Sometimes we talk about things that are light-hearted, like quizzes, which is now becoming an end-of-year thing, pop culture, movies, games. And other times we take things a little more seriously, talking about world events, mental health and well-being, life hacks, mental health and well-being, I've said already. And I'm going to say it again because it's extra important. And then also just other kind of life events, which, as you will tell from the title of this video, look, it's going to be a serious topic, but I don't want people to feel like it's just going to be all doom and gloom, because despite the fact that as of 48 hours ago, I discovered that I lost my job, or just over 48 hours ago, I'm actually feeling relatively positive. Some people might say that's because I'm in denial. Even I wonder about that sometimes. But yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity. Firstly, this show is very much dictated about what's going on in my life. I like this being an open conversation about all things. And if there's something on my mind, if it's at the forefront of it, then that tends to, help dictate a conversation that is grounded in with passion and enthusiasm. And enthusiasm isn't always just kind of a happy enthusiasm. Sometimes I mean just more of a passionate drive of discussing things. And that is definitely going to be the case for this. But I just want to say, firstly, a massive thank you to everyone for all the incredibly kind words, not just in the chat now, but in comments on other videos. I actually did a Let's Play live stream on Monday night. Monday morning was when I found out about losing my job, and although it was a fun Let's Play, there were definitely undertones of just that I can shy away from. And so what I wanted the purpose to be of this show was firstly to sort of tell you what's been going on, because that's always kind of interesting to talk about. Then to sort of explain how I've reacted to the news of me losing my job, and then what kind of the next steps are, but not just about like what I'm doing, but kind of to have a discussion with you about what are the important next steps whenever you find yourself in a difficult position where you lose a job, because it's something we all, unless we're very, very lucky, experience in our lives. Sometimes we're fortunate enough that we just leave jobs when we choose to. But definitely in today's society, especially with today's economy, things can be pretty volatile. And so, yeah, I've kind of not really got any notes in front of me. I kind of know the gist of what I want to talk about. But yeah, again, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone. There's a lot of people I still have been meaning to get back to. For those of you that are a part of our Discord, Empathy Arcade, link is in the description. Lots of kind messages on there. And there's also been lovely comments on my channel's community tab on my last post, where I basically acknowledge this. But yeah, just thank you, because it can feel quite isolating when you go through things like this. And start of a new year, and people will know I was very positive of 2023 and very excited for the year ahead. And to be fair, there are reasons to maintain positivity, and so we will just have to wait and see. But I just want to first of all just give a shout out to some of the people in the chat. We've got Mojo, hello to you, Canuck Tunes, Cussman, Chris in the purple house, in the house here, Nashi, we got Fifth, Carver, we got David VR, Chaos, Paul. By the way, this made me smile during the intro. You still have a full-time job impacting our hearts and minds. Much love to you, dude. Really appreciate that. Siago Guitarist, good to see you. Titty Sprinkles, who rightfully says, my name will make you smile. Always does. Kira, good to see you here. We've got, who else we got here? Just scrolling down. Clem Fandango, good to see you. Antonio Jackson, who says, much love to you, Myles. Hope you hang in there and keep your head up. As long as I've got this amazing community, I'll definitely keep my head up. And Xenomorph, you will bounce back. You're a talented guy. Thank you. I mean, look, being talented is, if we are to go with that, isn't a guarantee of anything in life. Malkia, the Soul Reaving Game Cat, says, best of luck, Myles. You'll find something new and even better. And Silver Fox there. Hi to you. Little bit of housekeeping first, and then I'm just going to dive straight into the topic, and then we'll just see where this takes us, shall we? Firstly, to be honest, I think as soon as I created this, someone already started working on it, so I don't know how someone had done that, had got to the link. I mean, to be fair, you know what the puzzle link is going to be every week, because it's the same format. But every week in the background, we have a puzzle, which is of the video thumbnail. And I've made it a lot easier just because the background's quite hard to work out. But as things currently stand, there are 24 pieces left. So the link is pinned in the live chat right now. You basically click on a block, you click on something else, and it'll swap it around. See, I could do that to mess it up. It flashes red if it was correct and you've messed it up, and it goes green if it's right, just like that. But maybe I made it a bit too easy. So there is that. Also, in terms of the schedule for the channel, every Wednesday, as you can tell from this, is Myles Dyer live. Always a good time. Then on Fridays, I team up with my buddy Brian Paul on PSVR Without Parole. And we do Gamescast live over on PSVR Without Parole. Links and that are all in the description to this video. And then it doesn't say weekends now because it's becoming a weekday thing. But every week, I host Let's Plays, and the time can fluctuate, so maybe I need to sort out this schedule a bit more. But I did play Vertigo 2 on Monday and had a really, really good time with that. Also, quickly, I'm just going to say that if you like the music on the intro, Eat the Love Alive is such a great track by Gigi Margui, I think the name is. Beautiful, beautiful song. That's the QR code for the Spotify playlist. All the music on the intro can be found there, or you can just search Myles Dyer Live on Spotify. Just like it, and then it'll be kept updated. But honestly, this soundtrack I listen to every morning when I wake up and get in the shower and stuff. I love so many of the tunes on here. It's really, really good. And then finally, membership. It would seem a bit weird for me not to. I don't push this every week, but on a week where I have been made redundant, I am just going to say, if you want to support me in the channel for as little as a price of coffee once a month, just click the join button, and you get a little loyalty badge next to your name. You get custom live chat emojis, and you get Q&A and comment response priority on all the videos and stuff. But I tend to try and keep on top of everything anyway. But yeah, that is everything. Just going through a few more comments because there's a lot coming in. And by the way, there's a lot of you watching right now, and I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone for tuning in. I'm going to get straight to the topic, and I'm kind of looking forward. I think it's going to be quite therapeutic for me to just get this off my chest. But I think I will just say, before I read these comments and get into it, I have no... I keep saying I don't feel bitter, and I don't feel bitter, but then maybe I do feel bitter about the situation, but it just hasn't really resonated yet. But CyberSafe, the company I've worked for the past almost 2 years, I absolutely adore. I love the people. It's the best job I've ever had. And although I'm incredibly gutted to leave, I have no, you know what I'm like anyway, but I have no ill will. Like, I have nothing bad to say against them. And there'll be some other things I'll say a bit later, which will sort of solidify that. Canuck says, considering live play on Twitch. I've always considered Twitch, but for me, I just like playing on YouTube. I could do Twitch, but YouTube's where I'm at. YouTube is my home, and I'll stick to it. But, you know, never say never. David Berman says, sorry to hear you lost your job. Hopefully you'll get a new one soon. Their loss. Thank you. Thank you. Vault Boy Steve, onwards and upwards, buddy. Thank you, Steve. Really, really appreciate that. Richie says, Myles, if that title is about yourself and not a broad topic, just joined. I'm sorry to hear, sending all my thoughts. And we'll use an old Scottish saying, what's for ye will not go by ye. Right, if I've messed that up, I really, really apologise. Translated, I love that you've translated it. Translated to, you'll find something better. You'll find something better. Yeah. Was just listening to your playlist on Spotify, actually. It's excellent. Well, this is it. And just add music each time. Mojo says, me too. I love that playlist and the EDM Joy one. They are great. Yeah, actually, I think if you go to my profile, you can see some other playlists. I have one for, like, focus when working and stuff. Or did you mean you lost your job on parole to Ian Higton? Yeah, for those that don't know, Ian Higton from Eurogamer was co-hosting with Brian on Monday. I love Ian, and he did an amazing job on the show, just stepping in for AJ. Fellow Brit. And we were just joking around going, oh, he's here to take my job. Take my job. Do you still take Twitch subs? I'll throw you another one right now if so. I don't know if I do. I don't know if my account allows it, but we'd have to wait and see. Oh, wow, here come the super chats as well, which is another way you can support me. I feel like I need to do this. Oh, my God. But thank you. Michael Grant with the $5 saying, hope you feel better, Myles. Something new will come. Thanks for always making our days brighter. Hope we can give some light back. You always give some light back, whether financially backed or not. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Salvador also with the $5 saying, hugs and sending good vibes from me and the missus. With your work ethic, we know you'll be up and on to the next adventure. Thank you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over there says, keep your head up, bro. You got a strong spirit. Thank you. Thank you. I actually keep sharing every so often this old Instagram post I did, which is... of someone standing up looking at the night sky, and it says connection is the ultimate healer. And that was just some kind of phrase that came to my mind one night many years ago, and it comes back to me again and again, because I generally think that is, whenever it comes to connection with things that you love to do or connection with other people, like, it's connecting your attention onto things is the way forward. Right. Jan says, losing 2 jobs in a row must be hard. You are awesome and we'll be fine. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Awesome, Tatum. Love you, dude. With a $4.99 says, Myles, $5 for pool. Yeah, we're going to play some Forever Pool on VR soon. I would love that. Thank you very much. And Kira Cat Lady. By the way, Kira Cat Lady has been doing the timestamps on so many of the live Let's Plays and has just gifted 5 Myles Dyer memberships. So, Roy, welcome to the family. App UK, welcome to the family. Leo AI, welcome to the family. Silver Fox, welcome to the family. Are you the new CEO of PlayStation, or as it's now known, PlayStation VR? Oh God. And Ryan B, congratulations to you as well. Seriously, so I can't keep up with all this. Good Vibes VR, dude. I'm sorry, it's cool. Right, I've caught up with everyone. Thank you. We normally talk about vitamin G and Dyer discoveries, but I will save that for the end on this occasion. I hope you don't mind, just because, well, it's at the front of my mind, and obviously a lot of people are tuning in to obviously find out more about it. So what I'm going to first of all do is just talk about like what actually happened. And obviously there are some details I can't disclose, I mean, I could, but it's just out of respect. And obviously there's a professionalism to what I do. But for those that don't know, I have worked since March of 2022 for a cybersecurity company. And a lot of people don't realise this. Some people think that I work in, this is my full-time job. There are even people at the company I work at that think I work part-time there because I do all this live stream stuff. And it's like, no, I just don't have a social life. But yeah, I've worked for a cybersecurity company for almost 2 years. Initially as their content development manager, and then as of 3 months ago, I was promoted to content development specialist. And my role was to support marketing in developing content. That'll come as no surprise me saying that, but just aiding the company in giving it a voice through media. So that's, social media. What is the content that we post on our social media platforms? It's also how do we support our partners, people that are selling our products? Are there tutorials that we can create and film internally? And then there are other things like, I might support the sales team. We get customers to go on camera and give testimonials. And I have learned so much over the last 2 years. I've grown up a lot as well. In the 6 years leading up to working at CyberSafe, I was a freelancer. Working as a digital strategist, auditing YouTube channels or social media or content. It's something I've done for over 15 years of my life now. I've always worked in the industry alongside my YouTube efforts. I've always worked full-time jobs. And by the way, I've just seen another super chat. I will get to this, I promise. I haven't missed that. Thank you, whoever sent that in. And the 6 years that I was freelance, I grew up a lot because you're your own boss. Half the work is doing the work and the other half is creating pipeline, queuing up new jobs. But it was very, very difficult. And then I became quite unwell between, I think it was November and then February of 2022. And on LinkedIn one day, I saw this advertisement for this cybersecurity company. And at this point, I was looking at becoming a workshop facilitator, working in education, and then also there was some areas of the gaming industry I was looking at supporting as well in sort of their community building and things like that. And this company called CyberSafe had pitched themselves, and they were sort of saying, join the tribe, we're all about making the world a better place, fundamentally transforming the way that society I'm lost for words on things that I talk about all the time normally, but the way that we address human cyber risk. And I told the CEO and everyone this. I said, when I first read that, I thought, oh, this is just wanky corporate speak. But then as I read more of it, I thought, actually, there seems to be some substance here. And so I got in contact. I got spoken to by a guy called Joe Giddens, who, by the way, I want to get on the show at some point. He was director of content and communications. And we had what was meant to be a 30-minute conversation. We had a 1-hour conversation, and it was really, really good. I was really impressed by this guy. He was just, he had a really interesting out of the box approach to marketing, and also he seemed to have a really strong work ethic in a way that sort of we had a value match. And so then there were 3 stages to the interview process. I got interviewed by him. I then got interviewed by someone called David, which went really, really well. And then I had an interview with Oz Alashe, who is the CEO of CyberSafe. And the interview of Oz was incredible. When you go to an interview, you're always trying to frame it about what can you bring to the company. And although that was something that was covered, Oz kept on asking about, what are your values? Like, what drives you? Why do you want to do this? Looking at the whys. And I went away from that interview going, these are my people. And so I got offered the job. And the last 2 years have been the best professional years of my life. I have worked with the most talented people from all departments. And I've been able to sort of spread my wings. There were things that I started doing when I first joined the company that I would normally feel wasn't like outside. Well, no, it was outside my comfort zone. It wasn't necessarily outside my ability. And I started project managing. I was mentoring people from behind the camera. Sometimes at last minute, I'd have to jump in front of the camera and present stuff. And one of the first projects I did was something called PeepSec, which was like a TED Talk sort of fireside chat. It was 20 different interviews. It was a massive project. And it's been really, really good. Now, I know what you're thinking. Myles, you're talking about all this, but what about the job loss? I just wanted to give some context of like, this is what I did and this is what I lived and breathed for the last 2 years. And it is a organization that wants to take on the status quo. And to put it as simply as I can, and this is in many ways an oversimplification, the way that most organizations deal with cybersecurity is with traditional security awareness training. And what that is, and many of you who've worked for organizations will relate to this, is every year you have your compulsory or mandatory security awareness training where you'll be given modules where you're doing like these 2-hour, 3-hour modules. You do quizzes at the end and you got to score over a certain amount. And it's not just security awareness, cybersecurity training. It might be health and safety. And it's just so that they can tick the compliance boxes and go, yeah, okay, you've done that. You're now safe. And what CyberSafe is saying as an organization is that is not changing behavior. Yes, people can tick the boxes, but then are they actually safer? And so CyberSafe is a platform that basically is data-driven. It integrates with people's apps, and it gives things like nudges and alerts. So if you share a credit card on like Slack, which is an internal communication platform for work, if you share like the credit card information for a colleague, you'll get a nudge saying, "Hey, by the way, you might not want to do that." Not punishing people, not patronizing or trying to hit people down or shame them, but instead saying, "Oh, by the way, you should do this instead," and being helpful and helping people at the point they need it. And it's about, and Nick just said, "Yep, just did my recurring security training." So this is what we're trying to change. And so the best metaphor I can give, and then I will get to the job loss bit, which is what you all want to hear about, is when you drive a car, traditional security awareness training for navigating a car would be, before you set off on your journey, is in the UK we had this like A to Z map. Do you have A to Z map in other countries? Was that just the brand? But you'd get a map out and you would plot where you're going. And then you go, okay, this is where we're going. And then you'd go on your journey and you'd have to remember the route. And then I remember, then we got printers and then the internet, and then you'd print off like the instructions and you'd have to keep referring to it. But you're not sort of learning the journey. I mean, you could teach yourself, but you're only teaching yourself for that journey. But now we have, they were called TomToms. We have like Apple Maps, Google Maps, all these. And that is like the new like nudges and alerts that we do in cybersecurity, which is Apple Maps and Google Maps is not telling you everything. So it's not going like when you've got to turn left, it's not going put your foot on the brake, do the clutch. If it's a manual car, change the gear. Now take a left. It will just say turn a left after so many meters or feet or yards, whatever you've got it set as, because it knows that you are a smart individual that has a set skill set. It's empowering you. It says, you know how to drive a car. We're going to let you keep driving the car. We're just going to tell you to turn left. And that's how it is with security nudges, which is just one part of the overall platform. So, yeah, you can see why I'm very excited about this company. I love it. Human risk management is a big thing. And this organization tied together so many aspects of my life. I've always been a content creator. I'm a big believer in storytelling. I've always loved education. I've worked as, in workshop facilitation and things like that. And I'm values driven. For me, it's always like, am I working with people that want to change the world? Well, yeah, then let's fucking do this. And that's how I felt with CyberSafe. Okay, so that is CyberSafe. We returned from New Year's Eve. Sorry. We returned for the New Year Tuesday of last week. So that was January the 2nd. And every Tuesday we have a kickoff meeting in the afternoon, like most organisations. And by the way, we're a remote first company, so we all work from home. This desk you're looking at now is where I do my work. And we had a meeting in the afternoon. And again, I can't go into all the details, but we were told this week, as in right now, I would have been at our Cyber Summit. We do them twice a year where we all get together in a manor house somewhere. We collaborate, we discuss stuff, we meet people in person. You know this because the last 3 Cyber Summits I've been at, the Wednesday, I will always leave the dinner table during dessert to get back to my hotel room to then do this show. So that's what would have happened tonight. And then, so the Cyber Summit was meant to happen this week. We were told last Tuesday it's been cancelled. Now, at a week's notice, that doesn't sound particularly great. And so there were concerns. And so that been sort of hanging over our head. And, we were all worried. And so then I woke up Monday morning this week and I saw in the diary with head of marketing, Munya, who I absolutely love and adore, had a catch-up meeting with me at 9:30 a.m. And I thought, okay, I don't think this is good. And then I heard from a close colleague of mine who was quite senior. She messaged me at 9:10 saying, hey, Myles, I just want to say it's been amazing working with you. They've let me go. Stay in touch. And I basically asked them if they got told during a meeting with catch up as the subject, and they said yes. And I thought, okay, they're letting me go as well. And so I went into the meeting, and about 7-8 years ago, I worked for The Guardian, a news organisation, and I was someone who, when I was a lot younger, if you get let go, I'd be bitter. It's very easy to be like, oh, fuck these people and stuff like that. But I remember a real turning point was when I was at The Guardian. I was there for 2 years in this sort of experimental role. And it was around the time after I had my head injury. And things just weren't working out with the role. There was a lot of changes internally. And after the 2 years, they decided not to renew my contract. And I remember, and you might be thinking, why am I saying this? You'll see in a moment. At the end of the meeting with the head of the department and my boss, when they said they weren't going to renew my contract, they said there is a new contract, a new role, but we don't think you're going to want to take it. And they were right. They said, have you got any questions? And I said at the end of the meeting, I said, are you both okay? And they said, what do you mean? I went, well, I know that like letting people go is like one of the hardest parts of doing your job. And I just want to say that I've got no animosity to any of you and stuff like that. And it was quite a liberating feeling. Because it just takes all the tension out of the room. It means you can have a human conversation. And that has always stayed with me, that experience. So when I went into this meeting where I knew I was going to be let go, before we started talking, I said, hey, before we start, I just want to say, I know where this conversation's going. I want you to know that it's nothing personal. I have nothing but love and respect for you. And I know that this is a really difficult part of the job, and I feel for you on that. So this can be as concise as we want it to be, and I hope we can move forward in the best possible way. And they sent me messages afterwards. Actually, even during the meeting, they said, "Well, thank you for that." They said, he said, Munya said, "You have good instincts, Myles." And I was wearing my Dragon Ball Z shirt at the time that said Ultra Instinct, which I thought was very poetic. Alex says, "You should have flipped the desk." You know the problem with that? It's my desk. This is my desk in my home, and it's very expensive. Yeah, so that was it, and for the rest of the day, I was told to have the day off. I'm working until this Friday, so I've got 2 days left. I'll then be taken off all the systems, which is basically like being locked out of the office, because that is the office. And then I've got 5 weeks, I think, still like under them, but they're giving me the time to work on everything. They've also said I don't need to worry about, budgets, like tech budgets and stuff like that, because it can all get quite complicated. They've been, really supportive there. But my colleagues, but I'm just trying to be careful what I talk about, because obviously there are things that are privy, just internal business workings, and I don't want to go beyond that. But what I would say is this was a very difficult decision for the company, and a significant, I wasn't just one of a few people. A lot of people were let go. That's all I'm going to say. I wasn't let go because I wasn't performing. I was a part of a high performing team, and we were smashing all our targets. It was the circumstances that meant that decisions had to be made, and heads had to roll, to put it really, really bluntly, and I had to be one of those heads while they go back to the drawing boards and sort of work things out. I'm being really careful how I talk about things, because you do in these situations, and I'm a very honest person, as you know. I can overspeak stuff, and by the way, all the love coming through, thank you. I'm just going through it in my mind. It's difficult for me. I'm just trying to think what order I want to talk about this. Well, I'll talk about like what my response was. I felt really positive for the rest of the day. So what I did was, I was told to have the day off. And what do you think the first thing I did was? I went and had a flotation tank. And if you don't know what that is, I talk about it a lot. I'm going to do an episode on flotation tanks at some point. I had a flotation tank. And then I gave a phone call to a close friend of mine, Alex, who I brought on board with CyberSafe, and he's been a videographer who has done all the high quality videos that we've done at CyberSafe. He's an amazing videographer. And after I was in the flotation tank, you were in it for an hour. Izzard says, talk about everything in alphabetical order. Yeah, as if I need any more stress. That's amazing. I came out the flotation tank 20 minutes early, and I called my friend Alex, and I said, hey, Alex, I said, I got a favour to ask. I said, are you free to film at my house in the next week? And what's going to happen is Alex is coming to my house on Friday, and I've written a script. And what we're going to do is we are going to create one of these kick-ass, 1 minute, promos, where I'm just going to sort of say, hey, I'm Myles. I'm a content development specialist, and I'm ready for hire. And it's just going to be bold. Although I've announced that I've been let go on all my socials, I've not actually done it on LinkedIn yet. Because LinkedIn, when I announce what's going on, I want to do it with this positive case to say, hey. But to be fair, in less than an hour after I announced I was being let go, I already had job offers coming in, which has been incredible. And I'm having a think about it. But yeah, so I'm being proactive. So that was Monday. Monday, I felt pretty decent throughout. I went to the recycling plant to throw some stuff out, because I've been clearing out my home. Getting ready. Oh, because this is the thing. There is no good time to be let go from a job, right? Start of the year is pretty bad. I had just put a deposit down to get my kitchen redone. And you put the deposit down, and then you pay for half the kitchen, and then you pay monthly installments for the rest for like 3 years. That's what I was going to be doing. But you can't do the monthly installments because it's interest free if you've been made redundant. Big problem. So I managed to work some stuff out with my family, which has been good. And that's going to be fine. But also, I'm supposed to be going to America to this Without Parole Game Cat meetup in March. It's super fucking expensive, guys. And they're doing a fundraiser. And even with that, it's going to be difficult. It was going to be difficult to do February and March if I was working in a job. Now it's just so much more. But I am focused on like what can be done. And that's going to be a big part of this. Right. When my head hit the pillow Monday night, it started feeling like a bit of a gut punch. And the way I could best describe it is, as things currently stand right now, I still feel rather positive. But I don't think it's sunk in yet because I'm still at work. Everyone's been incredibly nice. For anyone that knows me, I love doing video messages. I've been sending video messages to everyone, including the CEO and stuff, thanking everyone for everything they've done for me the last 2 years. And something else I'll get to in a moment. But the way I describe it is I can feel the sadness in my bones. And what I mean by that is I don't feel like engulfed in grief, but I can feel it underneath the surface. And it's not that I'm sort of like in denial. I'm still working at the moment. And then when I'm off after Friday, it's going to feel like a bit of a vacation, you know? But I think as the weeks go by, it's going to start sinking in that I'm not working on these exciting projects with people. And I think that that's when it can be really, really tough. So there's that. Right, I'm just going to quickly go to some super chats because they're coming in and I'm really, really grateful. So we got one here from Living L393. Oh, legend. Living legend. With the $5 saying, hope you find a new job soon, Myles. I'm sure a door will open for you soon, mate. Thank you very, very much, Living legend. And also from Matthew Horvath, if I got that right, with the €11.94. Greetings from Croatia, Myles. Appreciate everything you do and I'm grateful for your work on your channel and on Brian's Without Parole. Keep being yourself and good luck on your next endeavours. Thank you. Seriously, everyone. And also in the main chat as well. Just everyone's been so nice. Yeah, everyone been really, really kind. What I've sort of touched upon what some of my next steps are. And Kira just says, I know you keep things positive. When the sadness is creeping, it's also okay to hold space for it. Absolutely. And like my bosses and stuff said, it's okay to be angry. Like, and that's something I would say is, and this is going to be a cliche because it's true. We talk about this a lot on here. Feeling sad, feeling negative emotion is not a negative thing. And what I mean by that is like, there was these really toxic sort of mindsets that, being happy is good, being sad is bad. That is complete bullshit. If you lose someone you love and you feel sad, that is a good thing. It's because you care. It's because you love for them. If you've lost a job that you love, to feel sad is a part of the process and it's healthy to go through that. By the way, I just want to say well done, everyone, to this. Well done. So, yeah, that is really, really important. Oh, and also MZ Batman... with the $6.99 Canadian dollars. Love you, man. You will be even better on your next journey. So at this point, I might take the conversation based on where the chat is, actually, because this might help me navigate. Because also, I want this to be an opportunity for you to ask me questions and for me to give advice. But hopefully that this will help. So on that, which was saying you will be even better on your next journey, okay? So... Oh, and I've just been asked this about unemployment benefits in the UK. Great question. I'll get to that next. I have left this job the most confident I've ever felt about myself professionally. I think working freelance definitely helped. And I do think working at CyberSafe and being given responsibilities and also being able to run on projects, just run with them, has been excellent as well. I have no doubt, and this is not arrogance, I have no doubt I am going to find a job, or I'm going to have job offers. And as I said, I had some job offers come in within an hour of me announcing it on my socials, which was mind-blowing. For me, and this might seem like me just talking from a position of privilege, but I've mentioned this a lot already. I am a values-driven person. For me, money isn't everything. I've got to be a part of something that I believe in. And so what is going to make this hurt more than anything is I've just spent 2 years working the best job I've ever had in my life and with the best people. Now, working on a great job can be a challenge to find. And I've always talked about jobs in like 3 tiers of fortune, okay? And these are the 3 tiers, right? The first tier of fortune at the bottom, you're fortunate if you have a job in this economy because it's a brutal economy. But if you have a job, you're fortunate. Shouldn't have to be that way, but that's the reality. If you have a good job, okay, you're fortunate. Tier 2, one above it. If you have a job that you enjoy, you're very fortunate. Because a lot of people work jobs they don't enjoy, but do it because it pays the bills. And I have so much love and respect for those people, okay? And then the third tier, at the very top, you have a job that you enjoy. And the very top is you are epically fortunate if you work in a job with people that you love and you adore, who feel like family. You spend more time with colleagues often than your own family. I think if you have all those 3 things ticked, and obviously you would have, 2 of those things. If you got a job, you're going to have the other things ticked, so that's kind of self-evident. But if you work a job that you love with people that you adore, I think that's like one of the best things in life, and that is what I've had. And what worries me, and it's not to say I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not being defeatist, but I just feel incredibly lucky. I worry, am I going to find that again? But then it's the feeling like in relationships, if you've met someone that's amazing and it doesn't work out, or you've been in a relationship, you're like, the reason a lot of people don't leave toxic relationships or stuff is they worry, is this actually the best I'm ever going to have? If I stay a bit longer, could things get better? Or in some cases, like, you get dumped, or, you get kicked out of a relationship and you feel like, am I ever going to feel this again? And the reality is, hindsight and like progress, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not always that you have a better job, but just like as you progress in life and you detach yourself from an environment that you were in, you realise actually some things weren't as good as I thought they were. It's not to say that you shouldn't have enjoyed it, but the point is that when you find a new present, you will often warm to those and be like, no, this is great because this is security and this is it. And someone says, I'm in the middle of it now. It can be tough. It can be really, really tough. Callie Timecat says, yeah, it's really tough for that friend. It's a lot better to stay in employment if at all possible. Lots of people cannot, especially with economic downturns, and much harder with disabilities, etc. Yeah. So I am in an incredibly privileged position because I'm very fortunate that I have really good networks. I have really supportive people. The CyberSafe are going to be supporting me with the onward journey. But the other tricky thing I have, and again, this comes, I'm not here to say, get the violins out for Myles. This is not what it's about. I'm just being honest about it, is I kind of don't know what I want to do next. And sometimes that's all right. Like, I didn't think I was going to work for a cybersecurity company, even though it tied together my love for education, technology, media, all together. But I know what a lot of you are thinking. Myles, what about VR? What about gaming? And the reality is I've had a lot of people from the gaming and VR industries get in contact. And what I would say is if anyone from those industries is watching this right now, I would still say reach out to me because I am open. I want to look at what my options are. And for me, if it's the right fit. And by the way, this isn't just me going, are you good enough for me? No. It's, am I good enough for you as an organisation? And I said that actually when I joined CyberSafe during the probation period. I was like, this is important for both of us. I want to see if this job is right for me, but also I want to make sure that I'm right for the company. I want to work in an organization where there's symbiosis there is a give and take, where we're right for each other. That's going to allow for an amazing working relationship to happen. But for me, gaming is a passion, it's a hobby, and especially when it comes to stuff like PSVR without parole and also doing my Let's Plays, I don't want to be in an awkward position where, you know, if I criticize a game or promote one, people question my integrity based on, or I make it awkward for the company. You work for a company and other companies like, oh, your employee here's slagging off these other VR things or being critical. You know, I got to think about stuff like that. By the way, more super chats coming in. Just going to cover them. Thank you, Kill Artist. Thank you so much. With the $4.99 says, hey, Myles, I sent you a PM to you on PSVR without parole Discord that hopefully will make you smile. Thank you. By the way, I've DMs and everything I am going to be working through, so I will check it. Thank you very much. And Matthew, again Matthew, thank you. With the €11.94. Oh, hey, would really like to see you in America on Without Parole. I was really bummed when I heard you lost your job. Hope you find a job that you love with the people that you adore again. Thank you. So jumping back quickly, and by the way, this show might go a bit overboard just so I do cover a lot of the bases and questions that you have. I have told senior leadership at the company at CyberSafe 3 things. Firstly, I've told them thank you. I've had an amazing 2 years. I'm not going to go over that again. I've gone over it plenty of times on this live show. Secondly, I would just go over like the specific things we worked on together and how I've learned a lot, and it's been an amazing journey. That's been really, really important. But the third thing I've told them is I don't want it to be a goodbye. And I'm really curious to hear what you all think of this. I've already made my decision, but I think this is a really interesting question. So what I've told CyberSafe is in the future, when they are in a position to do so, I am willing to come back and work for them. Now, I spoke to my dad about this on Monday because I thought that feels like a good thing to do. It's what I honestly would want to do. I would love to work for them again. But at the same time, we talk about like, we were given like metaphors of relationships and things like that earlier. But if you get dumped in a relationship and then you go back to them, there's this whole sense of like, oh, you're such a sucker. Did you not get the message the first time? Like, they clearly didn't care for you. You know, they got rid of you. Why are you crawling back? I don't think that's the same with business. And my dad told me that he worked for a company. He got made redundant because of circumstances they weren't able to help. And he went back to him, and it was a great thing later down the line. And so, yeah, I feel good about it. I'm just curious to hear what people think about that in the chat, just as a general conversation point. But for me, I have told him I'm willing to go back. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be waiting. I don't have the luxury to wait. I also might be in a different job where I can't do that anymore. But I've told him there's nothing personal. I love the company. I love the people. I believe in the mission, and I want to keep supporting that mission. And if that means that I have to sort of take a hiatus and then come back, then let's have those conversations. So, yeah. Nashi says, my company has rehired many people with raises. Not sure why, but they don't want people until they leave. Sometimes it's just out of control. Sometimes it is, you know, people are expensive. Mojo says, Myles, to me that sounds like a good thing to say because you are ending on a positive, so they know how good of a worker you are. Hugs. Just having a look in the chat. Hey, Shapeshifter, good to see you here. Good to see you here indeed. M-Stack says, I didn't lose my job. I know where it is. It's just that when I go there, there's someone else doing it. Old joke. I like that joke very much. Let's do this. Hang in there, Myles. Thank you. And King Rolo, the cartoon game cat. Onwards and upwards, Myles. Good luck finding your next adventure. Did you ask for a recommendation? Right. Okay. So next steps. I'll talk about this now. So what are my next steps, or what should be next steps when you get made redundant? Now, someone asked earlier about how unemployment works. When you've lost a job, you have a timeline. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't have enough. In an ideal situation, you want to have savings. This is my kind of rule, and again, not everyone can do this, and it's very difficult in this economy. If you can, try and create a savings account and have enough savings that equal at least 1 month's pay. And what that means is it just gives you more of a buffer. Now, a buffer is important for a number of reasons. One, obviously, you have more time to find a job, but it also gives you more time to make the right decision, because otherwise you might be forced into stuff. But then saying that, you can work job. I am someone who has worked so many random jobs in my life. I've worked as a construction labourer. I've worked as a cleaner in a hotel. I've done shelf stack. Actually, before I worked at CyberSafe, I was shelf stacking for Waitrose overnights. I've worked for YouTube networks. I've worked for. I like that people are still doing the puzzle thing, messing around with it. I don't know what you guys are up to. I'm doing all that good work. So I don't have an ego when it comes to work. I just love getting stuck in, and nothing has to be forever. I think sometimes, and I'm guilty of this as well, sometimes when you're in a job, you get comfortable and then you stop looking elsewhere. Now, looking elsewhere doesn't necessarily mean you're looking for a job to go to, but sometimes it can be good for when you're looking for a pay review. You want to make the case for your values. So if you find actually you could get a job offer elsewhere, or seeing what other people are getting paid for similar work on the market, that can be a positive influence. So what I would say is, when it comes to that runway, is sign up for unemployment benefit if you can. I won't be, because I'm still making an income through my YouTube stuff. Again, incredibly kind people today have been helping me with that. The way it works in the UK, I've only done it once before. And I know there's this kind of pride thing. A lot of people don't like to do it because they're like, I've never taken... it's good. Even if you think you don't need it, don't wait until you're absolutely desperate. So we have job seekers allowance. I don't know how it's changed since I was on it, which was maybe 6 years ago. But you have to turn up once a week, and you have to fill out a book and basically give evidence that you're looking for work. And then they give you a small allowance. Now, the allowance is tiny, absolutely tiny, but it's better than nothing. And so it's one of those things. Don't put it off. Definitely sign up for it if you can. Secondly, I think there are 3 main pillars. And I'm sort of saying that having not really thought of the 3 pillars, but I'm going to give it a go. So let's see if I can do this. I think there are sort of 3 things that you should go for straight away. Number 1, your CV, or resume, as it's called in America. A CV, we say, is it circa vitae, is it? Oh, I've messed that up. It's Latin. But your resume, straight away, while it's fresh in your mind, think about all the experiences you've had. Update your CV straight away, and get it uploaded to job websites. There are job websites where you upload your CV and it allows recruiters to do it. If you work in a certain industry, there are sometimes recruiters that will, can act as agencies. They can act as agencies on your behalf. You can phone them up, make phone calls, and just sort of say, this is where I've worked from, here's my CV, and sort of just get that in place. So that's the first thing. That's before applying specifically for jobs. Secondly, I would say, before you've completely stepped away from the company, is speak to employees. Something I have never really done because I never really engaged on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think everyone should be a part of. I think LinkedIn is a wonderful website, social media platform for finding jobs. Ask your colleagues to leave an endorsement on your LinkedIn. It's like a little quote. It's an endorsement of what you've done. And do that as quick as you can for 2 reasons. One, it's fresh in everyone's mind. And secondly, and this is going to sound a bit cynical, but I'm just going to be completely frank about it. For the first, let's say 10 days, there's going to be a bit of survivor guilt from anyone that's not been made redundant. And also, people feel bad for letting you go, and so they want to be helpful. Now, fortunately, I worked for a company that will always want to be helpful, but they're going to want to be even more helpful now than if I asked them a month from now when it's long gone. Do you know what I mean? Like right now, it's like, oh, we had to let Myles go. How can we be helpful? How can we be of help? Whereas if I come back a month from now, it's like, oh, hey, Myles. Yeah, we can do that. It's just a slightly different dynamic. So I would say tap into your networks. So speak to people that are in your job, ask for endorsements, ask if they know people. Like, they work in the industry. They have networks. They might know people in other organizations that may be able to, or, might have a vacancy or at least pass on. Networking is really at the heart of everything. So network. So your CV, resume, networking, and then the third thing, which might sound kind of similar, but that is like the job hunting itself, and that is like going on LinkedIn and just every day checking, using filters, looking for work, sending your CV off places, and just apply. Unfortunately, we live in a world today where, I think they say, apply for 100 jobs, get one interview or something like that. But you've just got to keep knocking on doors, and you just got to do it with the energy. You've got to do it with energy, because the longer you leave it, the more you're crushing yourself into that pressure point, which is your runway of, cash flow is running out. And then you're going to be making worse decisions. You're going to be forced into things that are going to make you unhappier. And so that's it. So it's like, and if you can, have a website set up. So just to give you, and sorry, I am going to read the chat in a minute, by the way. And by the way, my friend Natalia is watching and just texted me saying, great advice, networking is so important. Absolutely, Natalia. Hey, you don't mind me reading your text out. So just to give you some like concrete examples of exactly what I'm doing, I've already told you some of it. So the day that I was let go, I made a call to my friend who I got work at the company, and obviously I got him a lot of work last year. He's an incredibly kind individual, very talented, and I said, dude, I'm going to script a video, I'm going to do a demo, which I'm going to sort of write tomorrow. Come to my house on Friday, let's film it, and then I can do like a basic edit, and then he can like use all his pro editing techniques. And so my plan is that on Monday, although for a reason I'll get to in a bit, that might not be possible, Monday and Tuesday. I mean, I'll explain it now. I was signed up on Monday and Tuesday of next week to do a mental health workplace first aider course. So I become a certified mental health first aider. That was through my work, and I'm still doing it. So that's great. So I'll be doing that Monday and Tuesday of next week. Could be the topic of next Wednesday's show. So basically Monday of next week, I will hopefully publish the video on my LinkedIn, and it's basically, first impressions are everything. I'm Myles. I'm now on the job market. I can then speak to all my colleagues at CyberSafe, or former colleagues at that point, and say, hey, can you just share this out? Send it to anyone you know. And they'll have my back. And as a content development specialist, this will come as no surprise. The best kind of marketing is organic, passionate marketing. You make some content that people go, fuck yeah, that's awesome. People will want to share it. Add that with survivor guilt and all the other things that are associated with making you redundant. They'll totally back you up. So I sort of joke about that, but like that is the reality. And so that's my first plan. At the weekend leading up to that Monday, I'm going to update my CV. I'm also going to redo my website, just so I've got my bases covered. And then all of next week, it is just email. There's a lot of companies I can think about that I want to contact, ones that don't have any vacancies. And actually, this is an important thing. Don't just look for vacancies. Sometimes approach companies that don't have vacancies, because if they don't currently have one, they'll keep you in mind. Or, and it depends on what industry you're working at. Like if you're working in retail, they might be like, we don't have and a lot of them have portals. So like Waitrose have a portal. They go, we'll flag up when there's a new job vacancy. But in my case, I'm going to say one now, actually. I'll say it openly. I've not approached them yet. And I'm sure they'll be flattered for me to say it. Ecamm, the company that runs this broadcast system that I fucking love, that I've used for years and years and years, I don't think they've got any vacancies in that. They're based in the States. I'm going to reach out to them. I love what they do. They're very values-driven. They're awesome. I think I'd be a good ambassador for them, and it wouldn't conflict with any of my other commitments. If anything, I'd be a good ambassador for them because I'm making content using their system and stuff like that. I'm going to reach out to them, and they might go, "Hey, Myles, we don't have anything, but we know someone," and then it will go out that way as well. So so that is my strategy. I need to catch up with the chat, but hopefully those sort of next steps have been very, very helpful. Going back to the conversation about, going back to a company that you've left, Vault Boy Steve says, I think it all depends on the circumstances. As you felt valued there and left on good terms, I don't think there's anything wrong with working with them again. And if you're not working on better projects, App UK, sometimes I always worry that I should read them before I put them on screen, but I trust you guys. You're all very good. I know the good uns. My last manager offered me more money when I said I was leaving, but I still left as wanted the new job more. Well, that's fair enough, but that's using your bargaining power. More power to you. Mere Matey says, keeping your options open is wise. You can reassess if and when another job is SciSafe. That's exactly it. Like, it's SciSafe is an option, and I would love to work with them, People talking extra lettuce and mayo. It's called FU money. Love this. Clem Fandango with the £10. Thank you very much. America Fund. You're an integral part of the Without Parole and the Games Cat, Myles. You should be there. You've got a vast amount of qualities. Any employer would and should be grateful for you, dude. Honestly, thank you so much. So this is App UK has said literally what I mentioned earlier, saying I've never claimed benefits in UK. Kind of proud of that, to be honest. So I would push back against that because I and this isn't a criticism of you, by the way, because I think I was in your boat as well. I think there's a toxic culture when it comes to society and benefits, which is kind of like, and I know you didn't mean it this way. I think if you can get by without claiming benefits, more power to you. But there is no shame with reaching out, because you know what? If you claim benefits and then you get a job, you start paying taxes again. Like, that is an entitlement. You pay into the tax system. You're entitled to it. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I was someone that was in your shoes, and when I didn't feel less of a person for engaging with it. And again, just want to be clear. I'm not saying that that's what you think. It's just that I know that the relationship of feeling proud for not engaging with a helpline, I get it, but I also just want to say to people, there's no shame in it. Game Cat Photo Nutter, that name never stops making me laugh. Worked 5 years at my first job and returned after another 3 year at a competitor for a further 20 years. There we go. Great example. Great example. Everyone's still talking about lettuce. I've clearly missed this conversation. I'm a nihilist and a misanthropic, so I'll never consider my employer to be anything other than a parasite. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Benefits are there if you need in the UK. No shame in using the parachute. Yeah. That was it. Curriculum vitae, which I've mispronounced. Thank you, Looper. Always can rely. And resume. We're doing lettuce flavoured milkshakes for the adventurers. Clearly, I've been a part of a much more boring conversation. Moj says, I'm not too savvy on LinkedIn. I need to get my head around it, as I always use Indeed or S1 Jobs. But use all of them. And something else I would say is, I was speaking with my good friend Ellie, who I got a job at SciSafe and is still there, bless her. I've been teasing her about that. She organises flights and hotels for all the events and stuff like that. And so I approached her about the Game Cat meetup. And I was like, what are your top tips for booking flights and stuff? And the advice that she gave me was stuff I kind of knew a bit of, but it was really good hearing it from her. I think also applies to the job thing. And that is, use websites like Skyscanner, use Google, all that sort of stuff. Use all the apps that give you the best deals on hotels or flights. But then once you've found the best price, contact the hotel directly or the airline and actually phone the hotel up and say, hey, what's the best price? And if they give you one that's a bit more expensive or as expensive or cheap as the comparison website, you go, oh, okay. I thought it had been cheaper because this comparison website is offering the same price, and so then you can negotiate that way. The reason I bring that up is when it comes to jobs, do use Indeed and all this sort of stuff, but then also contact the employer directly. Sometimes they have their own portals. I know some companies often say, on LinkedIn, don't use the LinkedIn form, because I don't know if they have to pay a commission or something like that. That's another part of it as well. Go to them directly. So yeah, I would say that. Yeah, lots of recruiters on LinkedIn. Absolutely. David, thank you. Appreciate that. I haven't updated my LinkedIn since I noticed an old boss who bullied me 20 years ago was following me. Can you block people? You can block people, and I'm sorry to hear that you've been dealing with that. You can also change your security settings or privacy settings of who can view your profile and things. And I would potentially recommend, I say potentially because even I'm going to go through this question myself, and it can be expensive, is getting LinkedIn Premium. But I would only do it for a month. And like, if you're looking for a job, just do it for a month. So I'd go, right, I'm going to do a month and I'm going to absolutely own it on LinkedIn. But check LinkedIn Premium and make sure it's offering you benefits. A lot of the benefits are like you can message people without being contacts with them. You get more visibility of who's looked at your profile and stuff like that. But what I would say about LinkedIn Premium is often when you haven't got it before or it's been a while, they'll offer you like a 50% off. Or if you look at it and then say, oh, actually, it's too expensive for me, they'll give you a discount. But it can be anything from like £20 to £50 a month. So it's not cheap. So I would just keep that in mind. I should work for PlayStation as marketing VR is not their strong point. Again, I don't know. I never say never. I don't think I'd work. I don't know. Maybe I would work for PlayStation. But then I just feel like, I don't know. I'd work for PlayStation Access. I mean, my friend Rob and Ash and all that over there know that I would love to work with them. Still talks about lettuce. Amazing. Right. Sorry. Got another super chat. Wow. Silver Nexus with the $19.99. Thank you so much. Hope you can take the time to find what's right for you, Myles. Thank you for being you in our lives. Well, thank you. Doing this every Wednesday with all of you is amazing. I love you all so much. Honestly, it's just absolutely incredible. Matthew says, I'm a big fan of basic income as a social safety net to help people have the space to figure out things out and make the right decisions for themselves regarding their next job. I mean, by the way, I'm not shutting down this conversation. This is something I'd love to dive into in a full episode as well. And I for those that don't know what basic income is, it's been tested in some countries or some areas of countries, districts, and it's the idea that the government gives you a basic income basically every month, enough to get by. And the idea is it then improves social standards. People aren't then living in destitution. Then people can, have the space to find the jobs. Another thing that's good for basic income is it also means people get paid for doing stuff that is very valuable to society, like looking after kids. If you've got to look after a relative who is disabled, perhaps, or elderly and struggling, it means that you can do that and you can get by. I think that's really, really important. So, yeah. They should pay you for all the advertising you do for their games. I mean, they gave me a free headset, man. But, yeah. Look, you'd suit the Access team well. I'd love to. I mean, we did speak about potentially me going on there to talk about VR stuff, but nothing confirmed. But hopefully this year. App UK says, going back to this conversation, the UK is a soft touch though, MD. People come here to use our benefit system and health service, I'm sure of it. And I grew up with people that had no interest in working and contributing, but claim. Look, again, this is a conversation for another time. All I would say is, whenever you have a welfare system or a safety net, there are going to be people that abuse it. It's just a fact. But if you shut down any system, and I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm not saying you're saying this. If you clamp down on systems because of the abuse of the sheer minority, you're basically spoiling it for everyone else as a whole. And to be honest, the biggest benefit thieves are not people that are at the bottom. It's the people at the top. in my opinion. But that is a discussion for another day. Oh, Kira says, I'm on basic income in Germany and it takes the financial pressure off for a year. That's amazing. That's super cool. Wow, I've caught up with all the chat. Oh, a Twitcher. I'm not angry. I'm just like blown away. With the £5 says, have a pint on me, Myles. I'm not. Do you know I had a bottle of red wine I opened. Did I open it on Monday? And I've been trying to get through it. And I had it after work today. And then I had a nap. And I thought I threw the rest of the red wine away because I was like, I don't want to be drunk tonight. I want to be sober. But says, can you even get a pint for a £5 these days? I have no idea. Yeah, you can make it work, but I'll put it in my investment if that's all right. Yeah, not in London, but I am actually going for drinks in London with colleagues, so that should be really, really good. Christina, thank you very, very much. Wishing you the best, you say. Everyone's been incredibly generous. Just thinking about if there's anything else I wanted to talk about this. So I've covered what the job I had was, what happened, and what are the immediate next steps. I know that some of you will be doing timestamps afterwards, so hopefully there is some useful here. If there's any questions you have for me, please do let me know. How am I dealing with the emotional impact? All I'm saying is that I'm not in denial. I'm just keeping my focus. You know, the whole thing of like keep busy. We live in an attention economy. It's always about where you focus your attention. If you're not keeping busy, you start living in your head, and that's when things can get bad. And so, yeah, I might start feeling. I have some moments where I feel really sad, but at the moment, I'm just making the positive case. I've been sending so many messages to colleagues and that, telling people that I love them and that's just a part of who I am anyway. We're on this planet once, oh man, there's a text I really want to read you without naming it. I had it from a really close friend at Christmas time. I might have read it on last week's show. I don't know if I did. I'll save it for another one. I had a message from a close friend who'd lost someone very close to them, and it just made me. I'm going to read it now, and a part of me was wondering, like, is this appropriate? But I think because I'm not going to identify or anything, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. And also, I'm just trying to make sure it's appropriate for the conversation we're having. I think it is, because I just think it gets to the heart of like why I live the way I do. And I think it's a really, really helpful reminder with everything. And to be fair, if I have mentioned this, my mind is in a lot of places at the moment, as you can imagine. I sent Christmas messages to lots of friends and family over Christmas. And then a couple of days after Christmas, I had this text from a close friend of mine. And this is what they said. Myles, happy holidays for your family. My Xmas will never be the same because my dad died on Christmas Eve at the party. He died in front of me. Love your parents and treat them with the best. The reason I read that is, and I know that as I've read that, some of you are letting that sink in because that is just a hell of a message. The reason I read that is, in life, we get nudges. This sounds like a fucking really cliche thing. We were talking about security nudges earlier. I promise you that is not me trying to be like creative with like tying it all together. Completely unintentional. But in life, we do get nudges of things that just help keep things in perspective. We don't have time to live every waking hour, minute, second, clinging on for our dear lives to those that we love and the experiences we have and all of that. We can't do that because then we would never live. We'd never leave our homes. We'd never let people be free to live their lives, you know. go out swimming in the deep ocean, going on rock climbing. Yeah, I know some people said they haven't even processed what I just said. It's a pretty heavy thing. It's not something I'm going to read again. But we can't do that, because then we would never live our lives. We would never live our lives if we were constantly just thinking about, this could be the last second I have with X, Y, or Z, this person, this experience, this anything. We do need to take things for granted. Like, that is the reality. We do need to take things for granted. We need to live in the moment and kind of just go with it. But occasionally, when we get reminders, whether it's through our own personal experiences or things from people that we know or things that we see on the news and stuff like that, it is important just to have it as a nudge and as a reminder to think about what you're grateful for, the things that you had. And obviously, you can always say that, like, anything I'm about to say now about a job is not going to compare about having a father. But the thing is, there are always people in life that are going to have gone through worse things than you. There are people that are better off than you. But pain is relative, and pain is important if you're going through it. And so the sweet isn't so sweet without the sour, as I remember in the movie Vanilla Sky. Saib's safe. I'll say again, best job I've ever had in my life, best people I've ever worked with. And it's a reminder that everything doesn't last forever. When I had a promotion 3 months ago, I was like, I can see myself working here for 10 years. Like, it really felt that way. And that hasn't happened. Nothing is guaranteed. And so when we talk about, and I said we were going to do this at the end, vitamin G, vitamin gratitude. Every week, I talk about vitamin G, which is where we take a moment just to think about one thing we are grateful for in life. And this was something my dad's friend told me about. He just said casually in conversation, and I've showed him this image. He says, I like to practice vitamin G every day. And that's just taking a couple of seconds, couple of moments every day to think about one thing that you're grateful for, something that just nudges you to be grounded in the moment and realize that right now we're on a rock flinging through the infinite void. And here we are having a conversation using the internet. How fucking amazing is this? How lucky are we to breathe this air and to feel these things and feel connection and feel love and warmth and all these sort of things. And so what I always do is I invite people, normally at the start of the show, we're doing it at the end, is just to share something that you're grateful for. You can keep it to yourself. If you just think about it for yourself, that's absolutely fine, because just practicing vitamin G internally is great. But if you get a chance to just, I say it can even be picking up a glass of water and just being grateful for the coolness of the glass in your hands. Could be that you're going for a walk and you're just looking at the sky and just being grateful for the birds that you see in it. Or maybe you've met a friend. I'm very grateful for the people that I've worked with for the last 2 years. So we are going to end thinking about vitamin G. What are we grateful for? And if you're someone that is new to my show or doesn't normally engage with it fully, I invite you, just even if you've not said anything for the last hour and 20 minutes, just put something in the chat. What are you grateful for? And it doesn't have to be big. It can be anything. It could be an experience you've had. It could be a person in your life. It could be a thing. Anything. And I'm just going to read some of them now. Callie says, this week goes to my neurodiversity assessor who finished her report on me. That's super, super nice. Siago says, it's important to be grateful for the moments you're fortunate enough to experience. There's something to gain from the good and the bad if you're aware of it. That's so, so well. Buttered toast. Buttered toast. There's nothing that's good to be grateful for buttered toast. Scott Dracula. I love that avatar, by the way. Right now, I'm grateful for this advice and your positive message. Well, I'm grateful for you as well. David says, vitamin G, sunshine on a frosty morning. God, that is amazing, isn't it? When you see the reflections and stuff like that. Charlotte says, grateful for my job specialist who helps me to find a job. all the best with that, Charlotte. All the best with that. Canic tunes. I'm grateful for this discounted Christmas Toblerone. Do they have them in America? In the UK, they have them. In Canada. Mojo says, my vitamin G is you, Myles. I love that I came across your live stream, your band, and your content. It really did save me, give me a safe place to discuss topics and just breathe. There's a song I've got called Breathe that I'd love to play on the intro, but it's not a part of the Monster Cat mix, which is a real shame. But it is on my EDM Joy playlist, I think. I'll have to dig it up and put it in the chat sometime. Matthew says, it was lovely chatting, Myles. You have a pleasant voice and temperament. I wish you well with the job search and life. And I appreciate that. And by the way, is that a bow tie in your photo? And you're wearing it, you've got a camera around your neck as well. Clem Fandango says, I am grateful for the NHS, National Health Service. That's great. Chris says, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. Chaos says, I'm grateful for whoever invented diapers for dogs. Now he can't pee on our floor. I didn't know there was... What, they actually wear the diaper? I did not know that. Kira says, I met really nice new people today. Every day's... It's what I've always said, people. I used to do it every day on Instagram, but then I just got a bit bored of saying it every day. But maybe I shouldn't, which is every day, another day is another chance. I can't even remember what the saying was. I'm so dead in the head, I apologise. Roy says, I appreciate my car for being reliable. That's good. Christopher says, I'm grateful I woke up this morning and I have a chance to do something new every day. Every day is a blessing. And if you're having a bad day, there's always tomorrow. And I don't mean that in a take it for granted, but like that's the attitude you should have. You should have the attitude. Don't live with fear in the moment of this could be the last time, but you know, just take every day as it comes. So I love that. I love that. Base Man Lofty says, grateful for my daughter, who is everything to me. That's amazing. That's amazing. Vitamin G, I had a Mackey's brekkie this AM. It was lush. Oh man, egg McMuffin, sausage egg McMuffin, so good. I'm grateful for the NHS as well, Chris says. Right, I think Salvador says, Vitamin G, grateful for the Mrs. birthday that just passed. Hope you had a good one. Belated happy birthday. And Chrome Colossus, Vitamin G, I'm grateful you've described your thoughts here today. I can't explain why, but it's helpful. So thank you, Myles. Well, it comes to the heart of what I've always believed with YouTube, and it was when I sort of did the mental health stuff in 2007, which was of it being an empathy machine. You know, the importance of empathy is you don't have to experience something to learn from it. You can learn from other experiences. To learn that the fire is going to burn you if you touch it, you don't need to do that. Someone else who's done it can tell you. And so that's it. And then the other thing is I always do dire discoveries. I've been doing a lot of clearing up, and I found this numbskull mug, which was from Crash Bandicoot. And what I love about this mug is it's completely impractical, because look at the design. Obviously, it's for storing stuff. But if you put a drink in that and you try and tip it, that is all going down the front of you. It's not good like that. So, yeah, a bit of a weird... I mean, the dire discovery this week was that I lost my job. I was like that in the meeting. I wasn't, because I was expecting it. When I said I expected it, like 20 minutes before. All right, everyone. We are going to wrap it up there. If you haven't already, do hit the like button. And do subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of all future Myles Dyer lives. I do this every Wednesday, and it's just a wonderful time to spend together, whether it's about positive things or not so things. But even when they're negative occurrences, they're opportunities to learn from, and it's not just about me learning it for myself, it's about sharing it with all of you out there. So hopefully what I've gone through gives you some empowerment. Even if you are in a job, maybe you're like, maybe I'm not entirely happy. It doesn't mean you have to think about leaving, but just like, look what's out there in the world. There might be something else for you. And so, yeah, just to summarize, I'm feeling surprisingly good. I am probably going to have worse days as it starts setting in. I'm going to miss working at CyberSafe. Best job I've ever had, with the best people, without a doubt. And I'm not scared. I'm not worried. Is it apprehensive? Nervous? I'm nervous about the future because right now there's a void there. And it's not to say there aren't going to be opportunities coming out of it, but it is the unknown. And that's the very nature of it. There is an unknown out there. And I just hope that I can find something that, you see what I'm like when I work for companies that I enjoy. I talk about like how I talk about CyberSafe on this show all the time. And I want to have a company that I can feel I can do that again. So we'll just have to wait and see. So, yeah. Gonna leave it there, everybody. Absolutely love you all. You're absolutely amazing. And, as always, when we end the show, it's time for your final thoughts. So any final thoughts about anything we've spoken about the show? Or maybe you just want to send some love out there. We always end with this song. And, love, respect, empathy, and adios. Till next time. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for all the love and support. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Honestly, I'm buzzing from this. This was a solid episode. I sort of went in like going, I know what I want to talk about. Like, I lost my job. But I want it to be not a pity party, but more of a pitch of like some kind of hope and something constructive, because we were talking about it all of last year, that it's a tough time for everyone. And I do feel I'm very privileged with the contacts I have and stuff like that. So trying to think, do you want to see do you want to see me doing my work? Do you want to see some clips of me? doing my work at CyberSafe. I would link to the YouTube video, but I don't want to because I don't want people to say anything disrespectful. Although, to be honest, you could find CyberSafe on the YouTube channel. But as I said, nothing but good things to say about CyberSafe. I'm just gonna show you a couple clips. I've got some like behind the scenes stuff, bloopers and stuff. Here we go. Something to end on. Right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, shit, I've got to accept it. I thought I was accepting it. Save to downloads. Save to downloads. Yeah, here we go. Right, I'm downloading it. All right, do it. Should I do it? Should I do it? I'm going to do it. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look what I've got here, guys. Some of it doesn't have sound, but I mean, I'll talk over it. So, the last big project I did was I directed, and then one of my colleagues had COVID, so I had to step in at the end and present. So I wish I looked a bit better, but I wasn't ready for doing this, so I just did it on the fly. But me and my friend Alex worked on this with my colleague Veronica, who's absolutely amazing as well. Super, super talented. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Because I closed the laptop, it failed the transfer. Shame on me. Shame on me. Okay. Right, sorry, guys. Yeah, it's sharing now. Just trying to get it off my work laptop. Here we go. Accept. Save to downloads. Right, it's doing it now. Cool. Yeah, I will show you just the end of this. There we go. It's worked. Cool. Here we go. Let's have a look.
We're releasing a bunch of new features.
So this is my colleague Jonathan, who's amazing. I'm going to miss him. And Tara. And we're just talking about it. This view, this is L39. It overlooks London. It's so, so beautiful. But yeah, this is the end bit, just to sort of show you me doing it. Look.
Now to wrap up this release, here's Myles.
Thanks, Tara. Hey everyone, I'm Myles, Content Development Specialist at CyberSafe. It's fantastic
Not anymore, they got rid of you. Ha 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 ha.
to hear the story behind workflows and see it in action. We also have lots of new features and updates for Guide, Fish and Respond. You can build, save and use learning reports with our new report builder in Guide. Reduce email template design time by up to 75% with AI generated text based on your key susceptibility insights in Fish.
Oh, if you want a blooper reel, I've got one coming up.
And remediate compromised passwords for your users with Respond. Plus much, much more. Want to dive deeper into anything we've discussed? Then visit cybersafe.com/release. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Miles reminds me of a kids' TV presenter. Oh, there we go. You wanted to see some bloopers. Well, this was something we did in the summer of last year where I did like 3 weeks of interviews. Some of my days were like 5 a.m. till 8 p.m. and I was directing and presenting. And this is just some of the fun bits.
Because you said everyone gets it wrong, so I'm like, I have to get it wrong a couple times.
That was pretty horrible.
We'll cut that one then. Yeah.
Can you tell us? That chair's creepy.
The rule of three.
Who are you?
So stupid.
Oh, I'm going to miss these people. And then I've got this. This hasn't got any sound. This was just behind the scenes of when we were filming the last thing. I just love it. I just love the energy. I just like seeing people. And I often work as a mentor. So I actually, although I'm not normally presenting, I'm normally behind the camera just helping people feel confident on camera.
Do you want to join me? We could do it together.
I don't want to become famous yet. Not yet, not yet. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I do think do one more.
I know you'll use the worst takes, so yeah, appreciate that.
There we go. There we go. So there was some clips there. I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Thanks so much for looking at all this. And yeah, 93 likes. Can we get 7 more people to hit the like button before the way out? We'd really, really appreciate it. Love to all of you. Really appreciate it. And yeah, just watch this space. Hopefully I'll have a really awesome video by Monday. But we'll have to wait and see. So love, respect, empathy, and catch you next time. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.